the live. If you are here to learn more about how to stop quitting in your weight loss journey, you're in the right spot. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay as I am getting all of the equipment set up. I hope that y'all are doing well. I want to give you guys some updates and then I'm going to dive into the topic today. So if you happen to be watching, say hi. Let's see. All right, I want to make sure that yeah, I think we're good. All right, y'all. So today I want to be talking about how to stop quitting. So many ladies have told me that they start, but then they stop, and it becomes something that they actually fear. It keeps them from starting something new because they think that this isn't going to last anyway. So I want to talk about what it is that you need to do. What do you need to do in order to become the woman who can create the result? This is what I help my clients do inside the Fit Figure formula. If you guys can hear me, let me know in the chat. So I'm live in my Facebook group, on my Facebook profile, and on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and maybe one other place. I can't remember. But if you're in my Facebook group, okay. Thank you, Miss Kathy. Hey, thanks for watching. Okay, cool. So, a few updates before I get into my notes. Number one, you can join the Fit Figure formula right now. The birthday bonus that I am offering, which is 2 additional one-on-one calls during the weeks of group coaching, for anyone who is needing extra support, who would like some private calls instead of being on the group calls. This is a highly requested feature. Sometimes I have people in my group that are like, hey, can I get a one-on-one call? And I reserve my one-on-one calls for one-on-one clients. So this is something that has been requested before. And if you want to get in on that, you can do that today. Today's the last day. Orientation for new ladies that I've signed in the last month or so will be tomorrow. Yeah. So this includes any new people or any returners too. So if you are a returner or someone that I've coached in the past, or an alumni, I should say, you can also get in on this as well. You're in the membership now though. So just DM me and we can talk more about what that might look like. So apply it to join the formula. Number one. Number two, the podcast is coming back. I have been really bad at editing my videos, but the podcast is coming back really soon. And then let me see if there's any other announcements for y'all. I turned 41 September 18th. Was it last week? The podcast has been up for about a year now. And like I said, that's coming back. Some more new episodes. Had a birthday. I've been sick. Y'all, I was so sick yesterday. I was so sick. And I never get sick. I think it was like something that I ate because I was super duper sick. But I'm feeling better today. So I was like, let me hop on and do this live. Drop any questions that you have. If you have any questions about being consistent, about taking action or motivation, put them in the chat. There are things that you can do to increase your affinity for taking action, meaning like increase your likelihood of taking action in the way that you want to. So you're not just unmotivated, right? Like there are things that you can do, that you can practice to help yourself take action. That's part of what I teach in the Fit Figure formula. So 16 weeks with me. If you sign up today, you will get the 2 bonus calls that are one-on-one. But you'll have me in your back pocket all throughout the week. We have 2 calls Monday, Thursday, and then you get support in between. And the ladies have been doing great. I don't know if y'all saw, I just posted a client win from a client who's over 40, who has been traveling. She didn't come to a whole lot of the calls, but she still lost weight. She still lost inches. She was still traveling. She's still, having her alcohol and having fun. And she did an amazing job. So it is possible. And if you're struggling, you should apply. 41 is the new 21. Yes. Okay. I'm trying to embrace it. Thank you. All right, y'all. So let's get into this. So I'm going to be recording this as a podcast too. So in this episode, you are going to learn the number one thing that you need to do to stop quitting in your weight loss journey. I'm going to also tell you how to start the process and then the tools that you're going to need along the way. So the number one thing, and I'm just like getting into like the biggest thing first. Stop looking at your weight loss journey as something that you need to do, something that is separate from your life, something that is external, that you have to do versus it being internal, something that you are, how you take care of yourself, right? So I want you to ask yourself, how do you want to, or how do you need to take care of yourself, even when you're on vacation, even when life is hard, even when work is busy, in order to be the woman that can create this result? You keep quitting because it's not really you. It's this outside thing. It's like, here's my life. And then over here is my health journey. And you're approaching it as if they're two separate things. I want you to think about, how would I integrate them so that when I go on vacation, it's not like, okay, well, I'll get back to my health journey once I'm back from vacation. Do you see how that makes your health journey and your actual life two separate things, two different things? So we have to start thinking about it as an integrated process of who we are, not just something that we're doing to get a result. Okay. So shifting your mindset and thinking of it as an identity shift. Now, this is especially true for my ladies who have told me, I've always been the bigger girl, or I've been heavy all of my life. This is basically something that you're creating that you've never created before. And you have to start thinking of yourself in a different way. You cannot keep thinking of yourself in the same old ways as you did before and it actually stick. I need you to think about it as an identity shift versus just something to do so the scale can go down. And so how do you start doing that? So I want you to really think about getting a clear vision for who you want to be. Now, I was on a sales call yesterday with someone who normally during the process of, like, when you book a call with me so we can see if it's a good fit for you to join the formula, I will ask you normally towards the end, like, what's the goal? Like, what is your CEO self? What's your best self? Like, what does she do? How does she think? Like, what are her habits? What are her values? And sometimes when people they haven't thought about her enough. And it's a struggle to come up with an answer. And I'm like, oh, okay, we just haven't thought enough about what we want our ultimate goal to be. This is very important because if you don't really know and have a clear picture of where you're going and how it's supposed to feel, what you want it to look like, it's going to be kind of hard to create it because your brain's always going to want to go back to thinking in your old habits, in your own ways. That's the easiest path. It's the path of least resistance. But if we think about who we want to be and get really, really clear on what does she want to feel like, what are her values, what are her boundaries, and like literally keep a running list. So let's say your list is kind of short, right? If you really haven't thought about your highest and best self a lot, I want you to write down what you can. And then I just want you to notice when something feels like you, or you're in flow, or something makes you feel happy or loved or relaxed or peaceful. And start gathering this list of things that elevate your spirit, elevate your mindset. This is so important to know, because if you don't know you, or you don't know, it's kind of like the Oprah always talks about like the whispers of life and like the little breadcrumbs. And I feel like sometimes we don't pay attention to the breadcrumbs of like, oh man, I really enjoyed like taking this walk outside because I really like the way the sun feels on my skin. That is something is so small and is so simple, but it helps you to know, what do I like? What do what's going to make me feel more like me and feel more satisfied, more fulfilled? So something that I teach my clients is putting intention and attention on an area of your life automatically elevates it. So we want to bring into our clear vision our highest and best self, our CEO self. This is not a one-time process. I want you to come back to this list multiple times, because as you start to build your list, you start to get more clear and more clear and more clear on your vision of who she is, right? So this needs to be something that you write down and keep. So then we have to think about, how does the fit version of ourselves talk? Or what is your self talk going to be like? Or what does it need to be in order to reach your goals? And in order to be, and the goal is weight loss, but the goal is to become the woman, right? So what does the fit version of yourself talk like? In this identity shift, we have to identify what's the negative self-talk, what's the negative beliefs that we're running on autopilot. So we will literally follow rules that we know don't really serve us, but because that's just what we do, that's just what we do. So for example, starting over on Monday, or thinking that, if you missed a workout on Wednesday, well, then, you messed up your whole week. Or overeating on the weekends then means that you messed up all your progress from before, right? So we have to think about, what are the beliefs, what are the systems that I'm already operating on, and how do I identify those, unlearn, practice like the great unlearning, right? Of identifying, what don't I want to say to myself ever again? What don't I want to believe about myself? And practice not only refraining from saying those things, but also reframing them and asking myself, how do I want to think? So sometimes we have these quote unquote like harmless statements of, I'm not consistent, I'm an emotional eater, I fall off the wagon, I start off well, but then I end up falling off. Those are identity statements. So you cannot create a lifestyle that is a lifelong thing. We're talking about your entire life. Thinking that I'm not consistent, thinking that I'm an emotional eater, because those are just statements. You're not asking a question. Your brain isn't trying to like solve a problem. It's just saying, oh, okay, she figured it out. She's an emotional eater. And that's not going to help you reach your goal. So really identifying, what are the negative self-talk? What is the beliefs that you want to unlearn? And don't allow these quote unquote harmless statements of, I'm not consistent, to keep you from transitioning into what you actually want to think about yourself. And so in the Fit Figure formula, I give my clients a framework for how to shift. So most people understand what affirmations are, but may not know how to apply them, because they will say something that they know or feel is not true and just say that over and over again. Normally, it's not helpful. That feeling doesn't feel great when we say something to ourselves that we don't think is true. But there's a spectrum of how you get yourself to your ultimate belief from where you are right now. Okay. And that process is a relationship with yourself because you have to see, okay, where am I at right now? I believe that I'm not consistent, but I don't want to believe that about myself. Am I willing to learn? Right. So I am willing to learn how to be more consistent. If that feels like I can get my energy behind that, okay, great. That might be an intermediate step to saying I am consistent because you really don't believe I am consistent. But you will practice the statement and the feeling of I am willing to learn. Right. And that is so important. So then we start developing our go to statements, our mantras, our rituals. Once you have practiced those intermediate steps of shifting your identity, and it's really important to be able to identify the self sabotage and all the thoughts that you want to unlearn so that you can start there and then transition. I think of it kind of like as a bridge, transition in that bridge over to the statement that you actually want to think. Let me know if this is making sense. I'm gonna, uh-oh, there we go. Is this making sense, y'all? Let me know. Okay, cool. Let me go back to my notes. Okay, so we want to keep that running list. We want to make sure that we are identifying our statements. We are shifting and asking ourselves, what does our highest and best self want to think about yourself, and create and adopt some mantras, some rituals that feel authentic to you. So, what this means is that we're setting an intention to become the woman who creates the result by getting clear on who we need to be to create the result and starting to talk to ourselves as if we are her or we're transitioning or becoming her. We are adopting new ways of thinking, ways of talking to ourselves, new beliefs, new mantras, new rituals, and we are setting identity based goals. So, the practical stuff of taking your walks, of lifting weights, of planning your meals out, all of those things are important. They're secondary, however, to becoming a person who, for example, keeps her commitments to herself. If you want to be a self-disciplined person, if that's one of your like identity goals, like write that out. I want to become a self-disciplined person. How do I start that process? Where do I go from there? Like making sure that you are putting some thought into it because we resist thinking all the time. And we don't actually think through things, or we only think about the surface level stuff that comes like off the top, and then we don't dig any deeper. So make sure you're setting identity based goals. And now those identity based goals are going to lead you to the strategic things of taking your walks, doing your workouts, planning your meals, right? But the identity based goals are really important. So acting and practicing as if you are already your future self, because the future is fake, right? The future actually never comes. So if we can see and we created this identity, our CEO self, who we want to be, the goal really is to bring her to today, to bring her to now, like invite her to this day because the future doesn't ever come. So how can I practice being her today? It's a great question to ask yourself every morning. What how can I practice being my best self? I was telling myself the other day, I am going to redo my vision board. I used to have a big vision board. It was like in a glass case. And I think, y'all, I got frustrated one day and like totally threw it out 2 times, actually. But I think I want to do another one. And I'm thinking about having a vision board party. I've had these in the past. And I did them in person. This was before COVID. But I'm thinking about hosting a virtual one. If anyone would be interested in coming to the virtual one, these would be free. Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I will just do it on my own time. I might share it with y'all too. But I remember sharing my vision boards. I was always in my walk-in closet. I remember sharing my vision board. My very first time I wasn't even live. I was just doing a video. And y'all, I recorded that video about 80 times. Like I started and stopped 80 times before I just posted the video. So, how's that for perfectionists? Okay. But I think I need to do another one. So, if you don't have a clear vision of who you want to be, the vision board party would be really good for you. So, and the reason why I brought that up is because I was saying every morning, thinking about who do I need to be today or how do I want to show up today? And having that visual, I thought about that this morning. Like if I want to be able to see something that reminds me, girl, if not now, when? Like I said, I'm 41 now. And I'm like, if you're gonna build the person that you wanna be, when are we gonna do this? This time. Like life is going by quickly. So that visualization can be really helpful. So practice acting like your future self, but we're really trying to bring that future self to today. And then we got to celebrate. We have to celebrate the times when we do act in a self-disciplined way. We do act in a way that makes us feel worthy or loved, or we see ourselves setting boundaries in ways that maybe we hadn't before. Make sure you are celebrating along the journey. Make sure you're taking time every week to reset, to check in, to say, how did that feel? How did I do this week? What things threw me off? How would I want to handle that the next time? Like it's all about evaluating your day, evaluating your week. And it's kind of just like coming back to center, like coming back to the things that are most important because we can get so distracted. And I think that's what happens. And actually, now that I'm saying that, I think that that is more what happens than you are quitting. Y'all let me know what you think. Do you think that you're actually quitting your weight loss journey and starting and stopping? Or do you think you're just getting distracted and just need to come back to center, come back to your goals more often? Let me know how that lands because I feel like that is a better way to describe it. You're getting distracted and you're not checking in with yourself. You're not being reflective and you're getting distracted by life, work, family, kids. And then by the time you look up again, you haven't done much for yourself. And then we say, well, I'm quitting, but really you kind of got distracted. And either way, this is the process to come back to because the person who is self disciplined and the woman that she wants to be has a routine for checking in with herself. She has a ritual for reflecting on her week. She sets boundaries. She remembers her values, right? And that's just a practice. So we want to do that. We want to celebrate and you want to get support. If you are that person, I talk to so many ladies who are like, I've always been the bigger girl. I've never really been at a healthy weight. And we're, 40, 50. Getting support is one of those things that sometimes we don't like to do because we're like, I just want to do it on my own. And we feel like somehow it's cheating if you get help or something. But number one, it's not cheating. It's a smart thing to do. Like anyone who has ever gotten a coach or a mentor or somebody to help you, it's almost like that accountability is like reminding you of your goals and like bringing you back to center. That's essentially exactly what it is. Like that same practice that you need to develop to keep bringing yourself back to center, bringing yourself back to your goals, bringing yourself back to your highest and best self, and remember who you want to be. Essentially, when you get support, when you get a coach, when you join a program like the Formula, I'm there to say, hey, remember your goals. Hey, you're getting distracted over here. Like, let's come back. Like, who did you say you wanted to be again? And the more that you do that, the more that you practice coming back, the better. I tell my clients all the time, I don't want you to try not to fall off because then you're focused on what you don't want. I want you to focus on how quickly can I get back to my goals? How quickly can I get back to being my CEO self and the best version of myself? That is a better use of your time, a better use of your brain energy to practice coming back sooner. So the whole falling off thing, you fall off. It's not even a problem. Like, I don't think it's a problem. Falling off is not the problem. It's the fact that you don't get back on quickly enough. And that's the skill that you need to be quote unquote consistent, to make this a lifestyle, to be able to come back to your goals, come back to the best version of yourself, come back to who you said you wanted to be sooner rather than later. Right? Versus this being just something about, let me lose weight really quickly. Right? So, y'all let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully that made sense. I would love to invite you inside the Fit Figure Formula. Like I said, tomorrow we are doing orientation. Hey, Nicole, the video keeps going in and out. Getting distracted by life. The replay will be up, Nicole. Hopefully, the replay won't be janky for you. But let me know if y'all have any questions. Thanks for coming too. I was a little early because I know in my Facebook group, I made a post, made this event for 2:00 CST, and I went live like more so right after 1:00. So thank y'all for being here. Questions, or did that make any sense? Hopefully you got some nuggets from that you can take with you. And I really do mean write down your stuff, y'all, because it's super helpful. I will be going live again. I'll be going live again sometime this week. I'm going to be answering questions about A1C. I'm going to be answering questions about protein. If y'all have not been on my profile page, you should just take a little scroll on my profile page. I feel like I've been posting some really helpful stuff, especially hey Kim, especially the one that I just did about like how to increase your protein. And I think it was talking about like 2 eggs is not enough protein. It's not a high protein breakfast. And I gave some really practical tips about how to increase your protein in that post. So take a look at my profile page. Last thing before I hop off that I think I forgot to say earlier, we're doing another step challenge soon. So I think next week, if I'm not mistaken, there will be reminders starting Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. The step challenge will start on Sunday. Y'all did such a great job the last time of posting your goal and then coming back and saying, hey, I met my goal or not. So we're going to do that again. So be prepared. Get your step watches out. Apple Watch people, charge your watch because we know it's going to be dead. It's fine. Fitbit people, charge your Fitbit too. So, all right, that's it. Join the formula, y'all. The ladies have been doing so well, and I'm excited to help you if you need help. So have a good one. I'll talk to you soon.